they have packages out there that will transcribe the meeting, and that is one of the most important things we need to get in this bid.
That's an add-on that we can take care of later. I think we need to get up and running with Zoom first, and we can roll out the accessories. We've already passed a resolution to do word for word minutes, which
Hasn't gone anywhere.
well, if we don't do minutes before the end of the year, we're gonna have a problem with the audit.
But you said you didn't care, we just take that hit.
You did say that. Well, we can talk about that. I mean, we should talk about it. Well, it's a work session, so.
I brought it up. I tried to implement this early on and it fell on deaf ears.
What's that?
But with the Zoom issue, so we keep coming back to it. But with everything shutting down, we need to, we're either going to do it or not, or take the risk of gathering in person. Now, Brian from Buckeye said he can buy the subscription, he can bill us for it, so all we got to do is pretty much issue a PO, and we can get it up and running, a bare bones setup, adding some cameras, not buying a bunch of PCs and laptops, but roll it out and get the capability to conduct the meeting and be legal.
So what are you gonna do in here? Just have one camera back there and not have an individual screen for every person, all the 10 people talking in the meeting?
Everybody's gonna be remote. We're not gonna be in the same room.
So then how am I gonna do this at home?
The way you do it here. So
I need a computer.
Huh?
I think I'll need a computer. How are we gonna do this on my laptops?
Well, you can need a computer. We can take care of that. But
You just said that Brian said we could do it without buying laptops, not computers.
no, the discussion was how we can approach this. Okay, John and the zoning folks, Tony, they can add cameras to their computer and do Zoom from their office. Some of the other people can do Zoom from their office just by adding cameras instead of buying new laptop rigs. Now, you need a laptop. We still got, in a $6,000 bid, we still got room to deal with that. So if that's what is needed to get there, there's no disputing that.
You bought yourself a new laptop this year.
Along with the 8 that went with the fire, and you guys approved it, so.
Did you get 8 laptops? I didn't get any 8 laptops.
So
what laptops are you talking about?
He's making it up. We didn't pay for no 8.
So that was all part of the setup for Calumet.
So you have a desktop computer Calumet and you got a laptop?
No. All I got's a laptop.
Oh. Anyway, talk about the transcripts. We need to, we had the first one, and I sent it to you guys electronically. I've been over this. I listened to it took some time. I listened to the audio recording I have of this, and I read this audio, read the transcript, and it is on. I think they did a gosh darn good job. And so at this price, we would think about starting at around $6,000 for the year. We have no minutes for 2020 out there.
No word for word minutes.
Word for word minutes, right. Well, let's don't go there. I mean, that was done. So we had agreed that we were going to do it like everybody else does. I missed a meeting, and of course they changed it to make it word for word. You know, we like to do things when we do. When somebody doesn't show up, like when you don't show up and they want to slide things in there. But anyway, so we're going to do word for word. We got to do it, guys. We need to start one about $6,000, not to exceed, and give these people our audio recordings and let them start on it.
Step 1, Trustee McLaughlin, you're going to have to get that resolution that was passed rescinded. So,
what resolution?
You got any legislation on the table to implement that.
Why don't you want this, why don't you want our minutes out there? You try not to be transparent. Every time we talk about being transparent and getting the minutes out there, you're negative and you don't want it done.
You're taking minutes on your own, you're
I'm not,
dictating
I'm
minutes
trying to
your
get
own
done, to make this township transparent and get done what we legally gotta do. And this is what we legally gotta do. I wanted to do it in the short form to save us money. If you have a question, you can, the video recording is out there, the audio recording is out there. If you have a question, what actually was done, pull it up and look at it. But no, you guys voted for word for word, so we gotta do the word for word. We gotta do something by the end of the year and get this out there, or we're in trouble. But you don't care. You said we can take a hit. But trust it, are we or are we not gonna get our minutes out there by the end of the year? You gonna vote for this, Jim? Are you gonna do it or not? Are you gonna be negative on it?
Mr. Mann,
I asked you. I didn't ask Mr. Mann.
it needs to be done. We've got a vendor to do it. So all we gotta do is order the work.
And you're the one that put this.
So you've
You're
got
the one that put this word for word in auction. Have you done anything to get to that vendor?
The whole year of you presiding over these meetings, you want something that you put together and decided what's the final copy is. And that'll be the record that we use when we go to court with you from suing me and Mr. Mann. So we need a good set of records to go with that process.
This is a good set of records. I sent it to you electronically. The fact that you didn't print it, it's your own problem.
So
We have to get the minutes out there. One way or the other, we have to get the minutes out there. You do not want to be transparent.
We pass legislation and then you do everything your own way. You don't want to follow procedure.
I don't, what do you mean? Have you followed procedure? You're the one that voted word to word. Have you done anything to get them out there since you voted that months ago?
Well, I want to...
Yes or no? Have you done anything? The answer is no. What have you done for the township? I think it's
I mean, you guys bring up a lot of good ideas, but we never get any votes on anything. And then we bring it over, it keeps going month to month to month. And that's why we are here where we are today. We don't have any minutes because you guys all bring up good ideas, but none of you vote on anything to do anything. And so we don't have any minutes today because
Tracy,
of that.
the minutes ultimately fall on
No,
you.
no, they don't. I've done all my duty. All the recording is out on the website. I have nothing to do with typing the minutes. I showed you where legally I do not have to type the minutes.
That will not fly.
It will fly, and it's flying right now. If you want to type the minutes, start typing, buddy, because you don't do nothing for this township. But try to tell everybody else what to do. You know, again, Tommy, you don't have a job.
Excuse me?
You're excused.
okay.
Well, if we
So what
can't
do you
get
want
this
the transcript?
meeting on Jerry Springer, I don't know when we won't. We get good ratings on this now. What an embarrassment to this township.
Yeah, you are. You are a big
I'm not
embarrassment.
embarrassed when I'm trying to get the Washington minutes. I wasn't talking about getting the minutes out there. And this, I found a company that's transcribing, and it's cheaper than the person you're using.
This is somebody that Mr. Mann set up.
Mr. Mann, did you look at I sent you an email. McGuire sent me back that he wouldn't open it because he's afraid that he wouldn't open anything I sent him. That's why we have Buckeye, supposed to be checking everything, but anyway, for whatever reason, he won't look at it. Did you have a chance to look at the transcript? I've been over this word for word, and it matches.
We've got to do minutes.
Yes, we do.
Tracy, do I need to read this before I say anything?
No, that's for the schedule, the
Okay,
next.
the lady that we had doing the minutes worked for the courthouse,
Yes.
and we paid her to have those minutes done. And she kind of double spaced the minutes down. We could ask her to move those closer together, to take out that double space, and see what's there. Or, I'm pretty sure we can still get her to do minutes. This, what you have, if you wanna do it, all you gotta do is. put it-
This guy's fast. I mean, you're talking, there's a lot of transcribing to do for 2020, sorry. I don't know if she will have time to do all that. I'd rather go with this company out here and just send it to them. I can get a quote. I can have a quote. We could add that to our subject matter for our meeting next Tuesday, Mr. Wolf. You know, so we don't do anything illegal. Add in there, we're also going to discuss the, because I'll get a quote from this company. Mr. Mann, if you want to step up and ask her if she's willing to do that much by December 31st and a price, I can get a price from these guys.
So Mr. Mann, Mr. McGuire, Mr. McLaughlin,
Yes.
when we did those minutes from September of last year to December of last year, she did all those minutes, but I had to sit on my time for weeks at a time to make sure they were typed correctly. So I had to go through each one. I do not have the time to do that this time. So you have to take that in consideration. Somebody has to proofread her minutes, because she's not here at this meeting. She doesn't know who the people are talking in the meeting. She doesn't know any of that. I mean, she may know better, but you know, we get new people in the meeting. We don't have as many people in the meeting, so that might help. But somebody needs, she doesn't know roads in the township, you know, so there was a lot of things that she couldn't get. Do you have a lot of inaudibles in there?
There's a few, yes.
Yeah.
But
So a lot of that's in there too, and so somebody has to proofread, and I do not have, and I will not spend my time again, a month at a time to do that. So if you do go with her, just take that into consideration.
This is originally done computer and then proofread by them. The person does not sit and listen to our tape like they're doing there. That's why they can do it cheaper, because this is done electronically. But in doing that, I was surprised, and I was thought, well, we're gonna have to start doing our meetings. Especially when I would speak, I'd say my name and then say, and how they picked up our voices and who's what was beyond me. But and that's what you said, you had a problem with her in doing that. Well, this thing picked it up. So I'm very pleased with, I mean, Linda, they picked up her name when she must have said at some point in time. I mean, it's pretty on it. But let's continue the conversation. If you can speak to your lady and get a quote and a possibility, and I'll do the same thing. Steve put that in the subject of talk next week. And
I'll also put the extra tagline of any other township business, because something might come up the rest of the night, and you might as well cover it in that, in that.
leave it a little bit open.
Yeah, you're allowed to do that.
Okay. Well, good. So, okay, so the next thing under new business, 12 minutes left, review of salary allocation chart.
Now, that letter I gave you, what was that? The attorney sent everybody a copy of that. And Mr. McLaughlin, you said you weren't able to get to your email.
No, I guess somebody else can access. I can't access my emails. Haven't been for days.
So
I get it
made
for a little bit of time here and there, but for some reason I'm cut off. You know anything about that, Jim?
What are you getting?
I just figured can you access your emails?
When you go to log in, what do you get?
Access denied, Jim took a picture, because Steve
They
took a
got like
picture.
a 404?
Yes, yes, it's a 404.
Just, I had the same thing on mine. Just go in a second time and it puts you right in.
I've done it 2 or 3 times and couldn't get in.
Yeah, because I got it, something, because I got the same thing.
I've got it
Sometimes
too.
it'll happen twice, but
Yeah.
they log in.
Okay, anyway, so we got this from Nathaniel, he gives a recommendation on
He gave
salary
his-
schedule.
He gave you his opinion, I guess. That's his opinion.
Well, there again, I'm gonna have some time to digest this. I'll let you guys,
Also in your package, trustees, you have a letter from Dave Yost, who was the State Attorney General, his office. You have a letter from the OTA, and you have a letter from Sylvia Reed, the Ohio auditor, one of them that audited us, about this topic.
okay.
And it seems to come up every year when we're doing budgets. But your township has followed this ORC procedure for 4 years now. And so read all those, if you're going to not discuss this, that's great. Read all those documents with Nathaniel, and they all agree. But you have to read it for yourself.
Well, it makes no sense, you know, what you propose and throw out the salary allocations.
No. He's proposing this schedule right here.
Right. So what's the issue with the salary allocations?
We just want to make sure that we don't get audited, and they tell us that you guys shouldn't be taking it, and then they start switching all our money around and saying that you owe this fund owes this fund some money. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm saying I want to make sure. I don't know if anybody else cares.
In
But
their
I
last three audits, if you go in there, you'll see that they made no comment about the allocation. Because Sylvia sent that letter, all of you guys explaining it to take care of the confusion a year ago.
Sylvia also said the reason why they didn't make anything is because it's up to your legal to make the determination, and that's why you have that legal letter. And so did the local government services. Local government services also said you have to talk to your legal, your local attorney, and get a reading from him, and that's why you have that. Because it's been, like he said, it's come up every year, and each year it gets changed, and now it's gone back to, we were different last year. The year before, we were told not to use, so we changed it last year, and now we're back again where we were the year before, so. Now we
It's
have
gonna
a
change every year, just like our budget.
The budget hasn't changed this year. Steve said clearly last night the road budget was not changing.
The allocation for the appropriation for the budget has not changed. I did not say.
So the
that.
revenue hasn't changed.
Before we
either.
started, folks, we've had 2 meetings together already. We've had fire department and we've had road, and the same allocation sheet was handed out in both meetings. That was not part of the road budget, other than the road numbers accommodate that schedule. They are two separate situations. You have to determine the allocation before you can lock down your budget.
I say that
single
every year.
So
I say that every year,
Trustees,
Steve.
I'd like to have the floor, please.
You said that every year, Steve. You're just repeating what I say to you guys every year, and you always do it late. And we always come down to this point, and we're on our second. We're getting ready to start our third meeting tomorrow, and we still don't have a scheduled allocation. I've told you this every year that we need to have this, and you guys just ignore it. And we come down to this point every time. So you're just repeating what I've already told them. Is if they want to go in one ear and out the other, they listen to you, but they don't hear me.
Trustees,
But it all come to a head in a little.
may I address you? We've spent 3 years with the State Attorney General's office, OTA. At the state board level, we've had multiple meetings just as the OTA, making sure that we advise our townships, 1,308 of them, what you're allowed and not allowed to do. And not a single township has gotten in trouble that we're aware of because they followed the Ohio Revised Code of 505.04. I can't remember exactly what it is. I don't know why we keep going back to the same problem each time we're in budget. Your numbers are going to change because the job allocations that you trustees, no one else, decides on what you want to shadow. What are you going to be over, like over fire? All of you decided last year roads on December 6th or 8th. And the budget was already trying to be set for the road without that change in management. But when I made that allocation the other night and the appropriation, I want to go with the same thing as the year before. It clearly includes that distribution that I proposed that you follow this year. The thing this township is getting better at, and it needs to get better every year, is quit getting the negative and start getting better and better in terms of the management of the money. So when you started out, when I first got here, almost all the expenses were coming out of general. But the fiscal officer, for instance, was writing almost 2/3 of the bills and not charging fire account properly. That's what the allocation is for, is to assign properly the hours or the time or the daily responsibility, even if you don't touch a paper. Mike, you're over cemetery, right? If something happens in cemetery, whether nothing happens all year long, you still have that burden or that responsibility because you chose that that's something you'd like to do. Well, there's a rule in the cemetery that we can't take your salary there, but if we could, some of your salary should come out of where you're doing your work. Otherwise, why did the law get passed by the state legislature? Why is it supported by the Ohio Attorney General? And why are we back down at this level, which we're supposed to follow the laws, not make them? Why are we arguing every year during budget time other than the percentages?
Because you're the one arguing. What do you have to do with the fire department? Why do you have 30% of your salary coming out of fire? Which is equal to the general fund. 30% of the general fund, 30% of the road. What do you do in the fire department that you get 30-30?
Okay.
Those are the things
Tracy,
that I'm questioning right
I have the
now.
right to answer a question.
Well, let me finish my question.
Okay, you asked me a question.
I
Let me
didn't finish the question.
Okay, go ahead.
I asked you, why are you 30-30-30 in general, fire, and road? Because your salary is so high, you can't afford to take it out of the general fund.
That's not true.
And you got 30%. You don't do nothing in the fire department.
Trustees,
You
please
don't.
take hold of your meeting, please, because this isn't productive.
All right,
Yes.
can I add something to this? Okay.
No.
Number one, the proposed changes that come out of salary allocations, everything is in the direction of defunding Steve's position. All right, set that aside. When he got seated as administrator and started picking apart what was happening with the budget, he saw how heavy our general fund expense was. Now, a fact, trustees, we're not going to pass a general fund levy to give us more revenue. So the only thing we can do is do everything that we can legally to spread expense to make it work. So if you keep loading up the general fund, you're going to cripple the township doing that. So the whole purpose of salary allocations is to spread the expense across the cost centers and take care of that. So don't lose sight of the goal, because with this board here, we are not gonna get any more funding. I guarantee that. The public's not gonna put up with what's going on here.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Steve, yes.
Sir. Okay. So, give you an example just yesterday of why you need legal, or not legal, but you need a second eye on every department that's going on. And this isn't the existing staff sitting back in the back room that had anything to do with this. You know the second chief vehicle that we just got? We don't own it. The prior administration did not sign the deed or do the title, not the deed, the proper title work. So it went from Ford Motor, Lebanon Ford, up to the light place where they put lights on it. Then it went to Guide Stripes. Wasn't supposed to do that. The management of that purchase of that vehicle said it goes back to Lebanon Ford, not Guide Stripes. So somehow it went from the light place to light Guide Stripes, but we don't own it. So even though I insured it the day it came off the factory, our insurance wouldn't have paid if we would have wrecked that baby like the first one.
So you're saying it got repoed?
The repo, they came here yesterday and took it back.
You said prior administration, you're the administrator when that came in. That was your responsibility.
Trustees, I'm asking.
That's what happens
I'm
when you
asking
try
for
to take over everything.
Let's
And
see.
say, let go through Steve.
So I contacted legal about it, and we found out that the battalion chief that used to work here signed the PO or gave the letter of purchase to buy that vehicle. You trustees did not pass the resolution that says DC McInturf was allowed to sign the authority to order the vehicle. So now there's a legal problem that I'm dealing with. This is just one example of what I deal with. Cleaning up legal problems that are in the fire department, but
That's
any
not
department.
true.
And then I go to legal to get your
That's
help.
untrue.
The chief couldn't do that?
That should all been done.
It was done with the remounted ambulances. All that paperwork is done in one, there was one loan.
I follow the law and I don't follow people's opinions.
You're making up stories though. You might follow the law, but you sure do make up a lot of stories to make it look like you're right.
Trustees, I'm asking you for the floor.
Okay, we'll hurry up, we're running out of time. We start the married meeting, so.
Let's continue this in the next meeting. Move to adjourn.
Second. We're adjourned, work session at 7:01.